Hi guys, it's Pooper here for episode 32 of our Factorio 0.15 playthrough. In last episode, we made a huge advancement towards our base with the addition of our new train setup and our very fancy train rail that we have pretty much going around our entire base, or it will be once it's done. We've still got a lot of work to do on that, but in terms of our army and general offense and defense, we're still living in the Dark Ages, so my plan is to finally get around to working on that today. So the first thing on the agenda is deciding where to put the new army section. We basically have our two options, with the first one being to put it below our blue circuit factory here to the left, or below our module factory over here to the right. The one thing that is a huge problem with this bus design though is that we have a lot of the components that we will need for our army section, like the steel, which is only over here to the left side, and then we have our coal, which is only here to the right. And that was not something I planned out very well from the very beginning, unfortunately, or else I probably would have put them both on the same hemisphere at the very least. But not only that, the other thing I'm considering is that I do want to start making preparations for our rocket factory and the components to make the actual rocket itself, and I was hoping to put that below our module factory so that we can make use of the module ones that will go into the rocket components. So I think that leaves our best option as putting it below the blue circuit factory over here to the left. So I think for now I'm going to get started adding a couple more belts to our main bus actually. We're going to do another set of coal for this one probably, and then we'll do sulfur here to the left. And that way our new army section can utilize that, and we'll just pull it from the right hemisphere. So I'll be right back after that's done. And I'm back after putting in a new coal line and a line for our sulfur as well. So between those new two lines and then the steel over here, I think we should be set for having most of the components for our new army section. So in my test world, I already came up with an idea for our main ammo that we're going to be using. This will give us the piercing shotgun shells and then the piercing ammo that we use most regularly. So I'm just going to put that somewhere below our robo bay that I just put up there, and then leave enough room in between our wall, at least 2 gaps, so we can fit in electrical poles and lights and walk around if necessary. Let's see, and I think we'll have to move our pipes, but that's okay. I don't mind that too much. So maybe right here, right there. And this way we have enough room for our belts to bring in the steel and all of those things that it will need. So what I did over here for our piercing ammo is that we have them directly fed by the regular yellow ammo. And then this should be producing, I think I have it making about, let's see, 12 a second? Something like that. It should be pretty quick. Because we're using the yellow machines as well instead of the blue machines. So as the robots are finishing putting in all of the components in this factory, let's go ahead and we will hook it up to electricity. I know our supply is not very good right now, and this will pull from it, but I do want these to stop blinking so I can continue to concentrate on what we need. So this line here should be for iron plate. So I'll go ahead and bring that over from this section over here. We'll do something like this. Okay, great. And then we'll need to divvy it up between the 2 belt lines that will need it. So we'll actually have it stop right there, and that way we can fit in a splitter, just like that. Or actually we'll put it one more down. There we go. And this side will also need the iron plate, so we'll have it keep going down. Oh, let's fix that real quick. There we go. Okay, so the yellow ammo should start getting its iron plate, And then for the red, we need steel and copper. So I'm actually going to be having the steel and copper come in on the yellow line that we have that is going underground here. And then the products or the output will go on the red underground belt. So I do have some underground belt weaving here just to save on some space. So let's go ahead and we will hook this back up actually. And then we'll start to grab the copper and the steel and join that up. Let's rejoin these for now, I guess, though. There we go. Okay, so copper and steel are pretty close together. I could join them up maybe from here. Let's try that. We'll do like that. And then meeting up right there, and then we'll underground belt the rest. So that will be perfect. Okay, and then let's swing it back up around the top. There we go, and then we'll do underground belts here for our iron plate. And then this should be good to go. And this should start working actually, now that it will start getting the steel and copper plate as well. And looks like it already is, and pretty quick. And it looks like it may not be getting the copper plate quick enough, so I may have to reverse the underground belts with the output being the yellow instead of the red, since we need a quicker speed with our plate throughput, or I might just make it into the blue belt, so I might just do that now actually. There we go. Okay, so now the copper should be having a much quicker throughput and be able to get to all of the machines here hopefully in just a minute. Okay, so as far as our piercing ammo goes, it looks like we're having some issues with our pipes. So I'm going to have to relocate our pipes a little bit, but like I mentioned a couple minutes ago, that's not too big of a deal at all. We'll just kind of swing it around more to the left. And then let me finish deleting these. I think I got them all. And I'm actually going to replant our factory over it to make sure that we didn't miss anything. There we go. And do I have the piercing ammo researched? Oh, I don't. That's why these aren't labeled. Okay, so let's get that researched now. Which one is it? Oh, I do need rocketry learned as well. Oh, there it is. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and get started on the piercing shotgun shell research, so that way we can fill in the recipes. But I will go ahead and get started on filling in what these guys need. So it's going to be more copper. So let's go ahead and we'll pull in another line for our copper. I think this time we'll go ahead and do it from the bottom. So somewhere around here. Do it right there, and that will be perfect. Okay, so let's bring our copper line over. Like so. Oh, we'll actually have to branch it off here. This will be going up that way. And what I could do is make a little bit more room by putting in our inserter here instead, and then we'll do our splitter here. There we go. So I'm going to reverse the direction of our belt. And let's just reverse these so that we have the last one there, and then our red one here. There we go. And looks like our research is coming along. So let's keep extending this down. Let's get rid of the trees though. And we will underground belt that one and then put, oh, there we go. So I'm going to do another underground belt there just so they don't accidentally mix the products. And then we're going to go up. And looks like our research just finished. So I can start putting in the labels for the assembly machines. Perfect. And looks like I have a couple trees I'll need to get rid of on the downtime that I have, but let's put in a couple more electrical poles just in the middle of the machines here. There we go. And then let's put in the recipe. And these require also copper and steel. So let me think here. And these require copper and iron plate. Okay, so I need to get copper and steel to our yellow line. So I'm just going to pull again from this section over here. So this won't be the most efficient way to do this type of factory because we're pulling from the same line quite a few times. But it will work though, and it will kind of just work over time. Okay, and we'll keep extending this guy down. And the last line we have to worry about is the iron plate, actually, over here to the left, and this should technically be working after that point. So let's think, to get more iron, I think we might pull again from this line. Whoop. Didn't mean to join those quite yet. Okay, so underground belt there. And this one, oh, we'll have to turn this. There we go. Okay, so we'll extend this all the way down to the very far corner. Let's get rid of the trees if we can. Much better. Okay, so we're continuing down. And then we'll just loop this all the way down here to the bottom, and then we should be good to go. I will need to put in, looks like a red inserter so that it can get fed the iron plate that it needs. But there we have it. That should be working. Let's just rejoin this back up. And we'll do an underground belt here to there. Great. And here we go, guys. This is our finished ammo factory. We now have a really quick way of making the piercing ammo as well as the piercing shotgun shells, which will be really nice. So the next thing I want to worry about is actually getting into production of our combat robotics, which is something I really like to use when fighting off the biters. So I do have a blueprint ready to go that we're just going to be placing just below the piercing ammo section because that's the ammo that it requires. And we are going to make it a little off center. We won't have it entirely in the footprint that is provided. So I think we'll do, let's do maybe one over, like that. So we'll plop that down there, let our robots fill that in. So now that our robots have finished filling in the factory, let me talk about it real quick It is something that I designed based off of belts instead of robot supply to the assemblers, and it should be about as ratio perfect as I could make it in terms of how many assemblers we have for each product. So for the distractor capsules, they will go in the blank one here. I'm doing the research for that now. So they'll go in these kind of corner ones, the ones I'm hovering over, and those will take 4 of the defender capsules, which should be provided in these assemblers, just kind of cornering the distractor capsule. And then the distractor capsule will be placed onto the belts here, which will then feed into the destroyer capsule, which will be in the middle assembler right here. And then we have our modules that will actually also feed into the destroyer capsule directly. So that way we don't have to worry about pulling the modules from the main bus or from our module factory over to the right. So that's essentially how that's going to work. We're going to have to fill in a couple more inserters so that we can have the defender capsules fed the piercing ammo as well as the iron wheels and the electric circuits. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do now. So our research ended up getting finished, so I went ahead and filled in the rest of the recipes into the assemblers and went ahead and connected the belts. So now here we have our finished product in action. You can see it's beginning to work. We don't have this on quite yet, and the reason for that is because we don't have a robo bay in the range. So let's go ahead and place that down somewhere. We'll do here for now, and then I'll move it later if I need to. But now that's turned green, so it should begin to work, and we're beginning to get that producing stuff. And it looks like every assembler is getting what it should be. I did a cool trick over here to get the green circuits isolated from the green and red on the combo line that we have here. So now that that's working, we'll finally be able to use combat robotics when it comes time to kill the biters. So I think we're going to end this episode here. I've got a lot to do off camera, particularly filling in the lake here with some landfill. But that will allow us to prepare for next episode where we're going to be adding in a couple more combat and army related factories in this section. So I hope you'll join me for that one, but for now I appreciate you joining me for this episode and I hope to see you next time.